Good evening, everybody. We got here a 1v1 Arabia between two top-level players who have been top of the game for 10, 15 years at this point, and that is TheViper and Yo, two of the legends of Age of Empires. So let's get right into it and see what we can expect out of this matchup. So in the blue, we do have TheViper playing as the Turks, and then his enemy is going to be right at the south of the map in the red, Mr. Yo playing as the Spanish. So Spanish versus Turks, not a matchup that we do see very often. Two gunpowder civilizations. I do definitely favor the Spanish in this matchup just because of their strong cavalry. But we'll see. Obviously, Turks do have some great strengths and could pull out a win, especially with the Viper playing as them. He's obviously able to beat at any civilization, so we'll see what he comes up with. Taking a look at the maps, we do have good forward wood line that could create some walls, but other than that, a fairly open map for Yo. Forward gold, but back berries, so early game, that'll be nice. And then this little gold pile in the bottom here would be good. I'm not sure how much walling we'll see from Yo. He has changed up his walling style quite a bit. And then we have Viper. He's got a pretty good map. He's got back gold. He does have the forward berries and a side stone, so if we do see something like Janissaries, obviously we could see that out of the Turks, and Castle could be coming up, but we will have to see. Even I guess if he just walls in here and here, he's got a ton of space back here to build up his economy. So definitely preferring the map for the Viper, but of course with either of these players you could see some aggression, and that could completely negate any advantages that the Viper's map gives him. And with these back berries, it does just allow a little bit more time for Yo. So I'm going to just speed it up a little bit. Obviously, these two players are very well known. The Viper is the legend of the game. He's arguably, well, not that much of an argument anymore, the best player of all time. Still top level player and has been for years. Really changed the game when he came in. And then Yo, he's been a top 1v1, top team player for years. He's so well known, and he's won just as many tournaments. He is another top player. I think he's been around possibly longer than the Viper. I'm trying to think, maybe about the same time. But seeing the walls already coming up for the Viper, he's going to close it off as he's coming a little bit later to the feudal age, but he'll have a nice safe wood line here as he decides to wall up. And a bit of a mistake there from Yo. He does lose HP on his scout, but of course that means that he knows exactly where the enemy is. When we take a look at the Viper, he doesn't yet know where the enemy is, and he's dropping a barracks now. I'm just going to slow down to regular game time, as that barracks is going up, and it will be up by the time the feudal age is hit, and there's already militia on the field for Yo. So these berries being forward, obviously a big deal, and he didn't even know that ahead of time. So lucky there that he heads straight to the berries, and he clears them out. So that's less food that's able to be collected from the Viper, and just a little bit of a disadvantage as the man-at-arms upgrade is going to be coming in for the Spanish player, and a little bit of play back and forth. Once man-at-arms comes in, these militia can definitely engage against the villagers, might even pick off a villager here. That's a big deal. This early in the game, picking off a villager, man-at-arms is now in, and the berries are cleared. Yo, great move as the Viper hits the next age and drops a stable. Yo already with a big advantage as the mill is getting attacked, but he's already gained his advantage. He doesn't need to really push too much more. Now he has time to build up his archers. And one thing to note, Yo is playing aggressive, yes, but he is wide open at home. So we'll see what the Viper chooses to do, because if he goes and attacks Yo right now, he can run right into the economy, get that wood, hit that gold pile. If he hits that gold, Yo will be in big trouble. And Yo hasn't yet spotted this stable, but playing against the Turks, probably an estimation that that might be coming up, and he will be seeing shortly that the scouts can see the wood line. So Yo probably going to need to do some quick walling. He's going to try and wall across here, but if that scout comes as this other one shows up, we're going to see some trouble for Yo. Only 2 villagers on gold for right now, and a spearman is out. We will probably see more walls along this western side of Yo's base as the man-at-arms are trying to get in somewhere else, but this wall off has already been completed, so one step ahead is the Viper. And 3 scouts against 3 man-at-arms. Probably not an engagement that the Viper wants to take, just because the scouts are worth much more than a man-at-arms at this point in the game. They will just run around as the archery range does come up for the Viper, and so we will be seeing skirmishers probably right off the bat to negate these archers that are on the field, as the stable is being attacked, but no scouts really being made at this point in time, and the gold villagers are walled off. There's a spearman at home, so pretty safe overall for both players, but having to waste quite a bit for the Viper with this new mill going back up. And these scouts still haven't been able to find anywhere to attack, as the skirmisher will get a few extra shots off, and neither player has fletching as of yet, so no advantages or disadvantages coming into play there. This wall off still happening on that side, and once it completes, we could see some trapped scouts, but likely not going to be too big of a deal. These scouts can still pick off that villager, as the main army for Yo is starting to come back. The scouts are not able to be caught up by these spearmen, so the spearmen just wasting time, just trying to make sure that nothing bad happens to the economy, as both of the players are going to start to look towards the next age at this point. We're not seeing too many more army being made, so food and gold are going to be reserved for the next age, as Yo probably overextends here, runs in underneath the town center fire, so not a good move by any means, but the wall off is now in for Yo, and the scouts are out of his base. So we'll see what Yo can do with this little bit of army in the back of the base. It looks like it's just going to get cleaned up fully, and he's still a little ways away from clicking up to the next age. Both players, as a matter of fact, are still a little ways away. But Yo, I do like his position. He does have this full wall, tons of space. I mean, both of them have tons of space for farms, but only one bit of gold in here for the Viper, as the army for Yo is getting cleaned out. That the couple of archers able to delay a bit on the wood line, but not able to do too much damage. So those archers will get cleaned up by the skirmishers as the scouts begin to move towards the enemy. And here we go. We've got some Spanish villagers collecting up stone. That's a good move, because obviously conquistadors very strong in early Castle Age, difficult to engage for any civilization. And there's a little bit of a hole in the wall here, so the scouts could run right in, but it's open just a few tiles over anyways, so not too much of an impact as the quick walls come in for Yo. Good move, nice quick walls. He doesn't lose that villager, so it will provide just enough time for protection coming in. But Yo really does not have much military on the field at all. He's got 2 spearmen and 1 scout that is so weak it could die from just 1 hit. That's this guy right here with 2 HP. And the quick walls again, but one thing to note, now the Viper knows that the enemy is going for stone. He knows what to expect, and he's going to be a little bit more cautious as the skirmishers start to come in now, and the walls complete on this side. So the skirmishers will cause some problems, but it won't be too much damage that they're able to do on these villagers. As you can see, 3 skirmishers barely able to do anything to that villager. At this point in the game, the skirmishers are pretty much useless against villagers, but very strong, obviously, against archers. And this is the problem with these small walls. One thing to note is villagers bump into each other way more. So your mining or your wood chopping, whatever it might be, just gets so much less efficient when you have these little walls. They bump into each other, as you could see. Yo just had to extend the wall out a little bit as he gets a couple of nice shots on from that spearman on the scout. And he is up in the castle age. So Yo in the castle age, we'll see what he comes up with to start. Just a scout on the field right now and a knight on the way as he wants to clean out these skirmishers just because they're such a pain right now. He needs this gold pile definitely to be collecting. And once we see the next age, we might even see cavalry archers. Obviously, the Turks do get good cavalry archers, so that is a possibility. In the meantime, Yo deciding to boom up a little bit, and that is one bonus with the Turks. They get that free light cavalry upgrade. So just like that, with that free upgrade, he got to pick off a villager. 2 villagers go down, and that's a big deal. Because if those were regular scout cavalry, they wouldn't be able to do that. But these light cavalry have 7 attacks, so really, really impactful. And the spearmen not able to do too much at all. Knights right now are going to be much more important, as Viper is already dropping his 2nd and his 3rd town center, building up a monastery. He knows he's going to need some monks to start converting, and he's going for camels. Camels will negate the knights of the enemy, so that is a good move, but it's a little bit risky, obviously. Camels can be negated by quite a few other options, but if the enemy's going for cavalry, yeah, go for those camels, build that up. And we know that the enemy is going to have some sort of cavalry, whether that's from the castle conquistadors, and the camel comes, and this is a really bad timing for Yo, because he's going to lose quite a bit of time on this castle, but of course he does enough damage with the town center. Good move on his part to build it on this hill and also within range of the town center. That is a fantastic placement. That protects this stone. It protects this entire part of his unwalled parts of his village. So that's great placement for him. And not too much coming out of the Viper. Just building up, making his economy as strong as possible, and collecting a lot of stone. So we might see that castle get dropped up here pretty close, as he's just been terrorizing with these light cavalry. They were scouts, and he knows right here to wait for the opening. He knows that eventually he'll be able to open that up, and the monk is out and gets a conversion. So that monk already paid for itself, and now is going to go collect up some relics. That's a good move right there, as he picks off the knight there. We've got attacks all over the place, but a conquistador is very strong against a light cavalry, so a couple of conquistadors out here, and that will definitely clean up the enemy, no problem. But the monks just collecting up relics right now and being patient, waiting here. The Viper knows that the enemy is going to cut through this wood line eventually, and he doesn't want to show his face too soon. As you can see, he can't see that these light cavalry are sitting there, and now it's open, and this is a big deal. The wood line getting cleaned out by even just, look how weak some of these are, but that light cavalry and camel able to do so much damage right off the bat. And Yo must know that this is dangerous at this point in time. Conquistadors are out, so they will clean this up eventually, especially with that knight, but that is a big, big play from Viper, and he will definitely lose this force in the back of the base, but just such good placement by the Viper to know that there's going to be an overchop. That wood line is going to run out eventually, and just being patient enough, sitting just out of the line of sight as the castle is getting dropped at home. The Viper is very far ahead at this point in time, and conquistadors need to get some damage done. They need to get an advantage, as there are already 2 relics, the 3rd one coming in for the Viper, and this camel and light cavalry will get away, and the back of the base will be protected once these walls come up for Yo. So Yo has struggled quite a bit with these attacks in the back of his base, now trying to repopulate, trying to get his economy back up and running, but I don't know if he's going to be able to do it. He's so far behind right now. 78 villagers for the Viper, only 59 for Yo. So not only did Yo lose all of these villagers right off the bat, but oof, one monk goes down, but one conquistador gets converted. So fairly even switch up there. But the villager lead is just so big for the Viper. He had that extra town center running for so long that he really got that advantage, and then all those kills, they really add up quickly. And so this monk will get picked off by these conquistadors. The conquistadors so mobile and so able to attack easily that they can do a ton of damage. But obviously monks are a great counter to them. And there was a hole in the wall. This is a big deal. Hole in the wall with conquistadors in your base, never a situation you want to be in. You could lose villagers at any moment now, and there's a big problem in the back of Viper's base. So this is exactly what Yo needs in order to get back into this game. He needs to get an advantage, as that spearman is going to get picked off, and the Janissaries will be able to outrange and hide underneath the town center. But with this many conquistadors, they're just so strong, as there's multiple villagers falling, but still a 20 villager lead for the Viper. So Viper can stand losing some of these, but the conquistadors are stuck now. And they'll have to run around as the monks are going for conversions. These are 6 conquistadors, which can pack a punch. They can one-shot villagers, no problem, as you can see here on this stone. So many villagers falling. So Yo must feel good about himself right now, as the castle, second castle, is going up for the Viper. And now the conquistadors will definitely fall, but what value can he get out of them, as there's a forward castle? I didn't even notice that. So that forward castle is in a great placement and denies the 4th relic coming in. The Janissaries will take out these conquistadors, but not without suffering some heavy losses. So overall good value that Yo was able to get out of those conquistadors, but definitely a big loss, as both of these players now are going to have to start thinking about the next age. And one thing to note is, while the Turks get chemistry immediately right off the bat in the Imperial Age, they need lots of gold. And gold is something that's going to be hard to come by. This monastery is under attack, but there's another one in the back that will be safe. So they do have relics and tons of pickoffs from these conquistadors. More villagers going down. Janissaries are going to go down now, and the villager lead is down to only about 12. So that is a big catch up for Yo, but he's not yet up to the Imperial Age. So once the Imperial Age hits, it's going to be tough for him to engage, because there's going to be definitely trebuchets coming out and taking out this forward castle, and Yo needs to click up as soon as possible. He knows how important this monastery is going to be, and he knows how important these gold piles are, but it's just a bit too long to get up to the Imperial Age. He's going to be a full minute and a half, more than a minute and a half behind, and he needs to be up in the Imperial Age, pushing on these castles, especially playing against the Turks. He needs to maintain this forward position with this gold pile. These 2 gold piles are also so important. If the Viper gets all 3 of these gold piles, there's no way that Yo can compete. And not a great spot for these conquistadors to be, but they can tank a little bit of town center fire. Obviously just running right in. There's been so much delay in the economy of the Viper. That's great work from Yo, utilizing his mobility with the conquistadors, but Viper is now in the next age. Will we see trebuchets coming out? Nothing as of yet, but we do see a siege workshop, so maybe he'll go for bombard cannons instead of the trebuchets. That's always a possibility, but he's got 1 trebuchet coming out of this main castle here. So Yo needs to move up to the next age. He's only a minute away, but that minute takes a long time to hit. So we'll see what he can do as he's continuing to attack back here and distract all of the army of the Viper. This mobility and ability to just engage with these conquistadors is so annoying for the Viper. He can't be happy knowing that the enemy is constantly attacking. First Trebuchet and Bombard Cannon is out now and attacking this castle. I don't think that it's going to be possible for Yo to keep this castle up, but with multiple conquistadors taking out that bombard cannon, that could be a possibility. Obviously, conquistadors can't go underneath the castle fire, but they can engage within range. So conquistadors are still being produced from this castle. No trebuchets as of yet. I'm waiting to see the first trebuchet coming out, but it's not happening. And there's still conquistadors in the back of the Viper's base. But one thing to note is he's still got the villager lead. And just conquistadors being made out of this forward castle. Yo knows that he needs to boom, he needs to expand as much as possible. And he knows that gold is going to be more and more important, so he's got to keep this position, even if it's just with army. And he needs to keep the Viper off of gold and cleaning up left, right, and center. Now only a 4 villager lead for the Viper. And at this point, 112 versus 118, it's not as big of a deal as when we're early on in the game. So a little lead is still definitely what you would rather have, but it's not as much of an impact. So the big advantage of the economic lead that the Viper had is mostly gone as these Janissaries do get cleaned up. One thing to note is while they do have that super high attack, they just have so much less HP than a Conquistador that it's difficult to engage. And not like in running under that castle fire, you definitely want to be moving around, but he wanted to distract while his monk grabbed that relic. It's really a relic game at this point in time. And both of these players are just going to be competing for gold, as the Viper is moving into very strong Hussar play. When you only have access to some small amounts of gold, that's the play you have to do. There's only a little bit of gold left. One stone pile is full, and the other one with about 400, so only about 1,200 there. And then I don't even know if we've got that much here. Oh, we do. We got about probably like 2,000 there, which allows for a little bit of production out of Janissaries or trebuchets, but not too much, especially when upgrades are coming in. So we'll see exactly what sort of play they're able to do, as a couple of Hussars are going to try and do a little bit of raiding, and honestly they could do some pretty good damage in these farms here if this town hall doesn't get taken in, as the conquistadors are trying to get in through this side but unable to. Stone walls behind will protect, and Yo has not noticed these Hussars, and this is a pretty big army now of Janissaries and Hussars, going to be difficult to engage against if you are Yo. So the Viper is just sitting back, biding his time. He's getting way more value out of these Hussars than I expected him to get, but doing a pretty good job of raiding with them, as a couple of light cavalry are going to come in and clean up the mess in the back. Hussar now coming in for Yo, as well as these conquistadors are going to run around, try to get as much damage as possible, and a castle coming up right here. It will definitely get spotted and might just get denied right now. Can these conquistadors and Hussars do enough damage to protect this? Honestly, that's a good number of conquistadors, good number of Hussars, and this castle is probably going to still go up unless they target the villagers, but it's going to be losing so many villagers, so many army to just take it out, as there's already a trebuchet forward immediately attacking it. So 2 trebuchets are coming out in response, and another one for the Viper. So we'll see what sort of damage can be done. Both players above 130 for villagers, so they are able to produce, but just way more gold access when it comes to Yo, as this gold pile looks like it's pretty much the only one left, as this one only has 500 in it. So we'll see exactly what can be done. as Yo decides to engage. He's going to run right in here, take out the siege, and with the siege gone, there's nothing that Viper can do to protect this castle from the trebuchet. So Yo runs right back. He's going to sit underneath his castle, take out the enemy, and this castle is probably going to go down for the Viper now. As masonry, we're seeing upgrades left, right, and center coming in, as conversions are trying to happen, but it's such a difficult move because you know these Janissaries are going to try and target the trebuchets, and that's exactly what they're doing, taking out trebuchets while they're getting repaired, and the Hussars are running straight into the economy. Just like that, Hussars so much stronger than light cavalry, able to tank so much damage, and the Viper just going all in on this forward attack as the trebuchets are falling down to these Janissaries, and it's such a difficult engagement to go against if you have less range as you're getting raided. This might be it. Can Yo hang on? Can he clean up this raid in the back? He's got a few Hussars running in, cleaning up what he can, but it is tough as in the meantime he's attacking on the front, looking for a main attack. He's still got one trebuchet up here. He's still got another one being made, and he's still collecting so much gold, but his entire farming economy has been destroyed as he cleans up. Finally, the last of the Hussars lost a lot of villagers there, but at this point in the game, he's been producing so many villagers that it's not as big of a deal. The Viper has been repairing this castle, but it's going to get harder and harder to repair the castle as the stone count drops and as the number of trebuchets increases. So with the villagers attacking and with the villagers repairing and with the trebuchets attacking, it's going to be a little bit more of a toss-up. This gold pile still very important. Conquistadors still protecting. And this is exactly where the fight's going to be. Just such a great late-age fight. So many trebuchets coming out as even monks are going to convert Hussars, and obviously we all know that doesn't work out too well. And the castles, whatever castle falls here, this might be GG. And it looks like the advantage is swinging once again in the Viper's favor. No more trebuchets out on the field for Yo, and the Hussar attack might happen again with the Viper. If he cleans up these Hussars, he might just run straight into the farming economy once again, as this trebuchet is gonna get taken out by the Conquistadors, and then this castle will continue to be repaired. But the Viper running low on stone, so that's something to note. And another bombard cannon just getting taken out like that. All of this for just these little gold piles. But it's so important at this point in the game. There's still gold on the field for Yo. He's got a less gold heavy civilization. The Turks need so much gold in their civilization. And I think that is it. No more gold miners. There's just the relics for Viper and a lot of cleanup happening. Oh my goodness, great move. The Hussars run around. They're going to pick off another trebuchet just like that. But in behind, this little group of 7 Hussars could do so much damage if they get through. But the entire army up front getting cleaned up. This is such an expensive army right now, and just so powerful. As the bombard cannons are falling, trebuchets are getting destroyed. We're even seeing these castles get upgraded. Look at the castle. We're seeing hoardings coming up. We're seeing trebuchet wars. We're seeing battles back and forth as the Hussars are trying to engage against one another, but there's just too many for Yo to engage against as he runs on the other side trying to pick off where he can. There's a stone camp up here that is causing damage, but a few good raids could make or break this game for either player at this point. The Conquistadors, though, still prioritizing this castle. They know how important these golds are, and they know that it is vital to keep them up. Big back and forth. We finally see chemistry coming in for Yo as he's cleaning up. Will he take out both of these trebuchets? He does, but he loses. Look at all of those conquistadors on the ground just to take out 2 trebuchets. Just such an important move to continue to take out the trebuchets. More hussars coming in and attacking. And this castle fire just doing so much damage as the 12 on stone for Viper have got a lot of value, and more raids coming in for Viper. That's one thing that Viper has really done differently than Yo in this late game, is consistently raiding, even just sending in a couple of hussars, causing damage where possible. We haven't seen any raiding in this back farming area for Yo, and that's just because it's so much harder to get into Viper's base than it is to get into Yo's. More hussars and conquistadors running in now, and again just hiding underneath the castle fire, having to take out these trebuchets when they can, and then run right back under the protection of their own castle. But 1,000 stone for the Viper, that's a lot, and that's enough for more castles, as there is a castle coming up to protect this eastern flank for Yo, but nothing protecting behind these walls or this blacksmith, which might be attacked right away. We do see quite a few conquistadors running that way, but they run right back as they can't really engage. They can't leave these gold piles. They can't leave this castle. So the hussars will get cleaned up as we see another castle now for the Viper. Really, really getting good map control, but look at that map control. Yo sees the castle being made. Is he going to attack it? He doesn't. He runs right by it. He's going to raid, and he totally doesn't care about that castle. These hussars will be taken out by the castle fire, but it'll take a little while. Obviously, they do have such strong pierce armor, but the hussars just a little bit too late to take out this castle. 3 very weak ones, so even just attacking a couple at a time, even the town center file will clean these out pretty easily. And the big engagement is happening right now. Almost missed it. Hussars and conquistadors, we've got gunpowder, we've got cavalry, and this is a game. Running underneath the castle fire, attacking janissaries, attacking all over the place, really trying to get whatever damage can be done. But 3 trebuchets now taking out this castle. That is a surprise for Yo. He's gonna have to run in. He's gonna need to take out these trebuchets quick, but it's gonna be tough to take them out. There is a big army in front, as we're seeing a little bit of a move into halberdier for Yo, and halberdier is a great move at this point in time, especially going to be able to counter the hussars. Going to just be able to eat up so much damage from the janissaries. 2 of the trebuchets get taken out. The 3rd one going to have to get taken out by the conquistadors, and it does. It is down as well. This castle stays alive just barely because there's no stone left on the field for Yo. So he buys a bit of stone, heals up his castle a little bit more, and then we'll have to hide back inside of it while the hussars are attacking. Another trebuchet now already coming out for the Viper, and it's going to be just more and more difficult to keep these castles up as the stone subsides. I don't know if there's really any stone left on the map, as the Viper has used up the remainder of that stone. This trebuchet gonna have to be taken out as well. It's worth it right now because there's no way you can win without castles on the field, and with these castles, they're going down, and it's going to take everything to keep them up. As we see more hussars coming in, but we're seeing those infantry upgrades from Yo. Wonder what he'll do when he'll decide to utilize those and start making infantry, because he has not been making any at this point in time, just getting the upgrades. We don't see barracks being built, and this castle is going down. He needs to make the switch now so that he can start flooding the screen with halberdier. getting anything out there just to get a little bit more protection, and more raids happening all over the place. Very close for villager counts, but just the raids take so much time and energy to focus down and really find and chase these. I mean, it's only 2 Hussars, but it's going to take a lot of Hussars from Yo to clean it up. As the castle drops, gold is available for the first time in a long time, and there are not enough barracks on the field. We see pikemen already on the field for Yo, but I don't know if it's enough, and I don't see enough barracks to really pay off for the conversions. We see some barracks being built in the back, but with this many Janissaries, I don't think that he can win. It might be it. That castle fell, and I don't think that he can come back from this. The conquistadors being forced back from Hussars, and this is it. The big push right up the main section of Yo's economy. And we see pikemen frantically getting built out of all of these barracks, but is it too late? Halberdier is coming in. The upgrade is on. Can they cause enough damage and be built fast enough to take out the enemy? It looks like it's possible, but more Hussars are coming in. These Janissaries at this point need to be cleaned up, and that is really all that has to happen. The Janissaries get taken out, and that will be a big play, as the gold miners are getting blocked by their own Hussars, but they're mining gold for the first time in a long time. And the Viper needs gold in order to maintain this push. The Viper needs gold more than Yo needs gold, and that is really important at this stage in the game, as Hussars are very mobile, but Halberdiers will be able to take them out like nothing. Just these Janissaries, and that's a lot. That's 29 of them, and they can take out Halberdiers no problem, especially in this little choke point. So this choke point, which I thought would be so beneficial for Yo early on with the easy walling, has become a little bit of a difficulty because he can't get the Halberdiers through to engage against these 30 Janissaries. The Halberdiers are finally through. They're going to try to take out the Hussars wherever possible. The Conquistadors, really important in big numbers right now, and this is a battle at this point in time. Siege workshops being made up top to clean out the castles in the east, but this might be it, as the Janissaries are going to be alone with Halberdiers and Hussars running in and attacking them. This trebuchet will probably get taken out eventually, but no more conquistadors sitting on the field for Yo. It's only Halberdiers and Hussars, so difficult to engage against 30 Janissaries with only melee, especially with this little bit of a meat shield up front, and barracks being dropped. Man-at-arms on the way. The Viper says, hey, I've got gold now. I can make whatever I want. And that's exactly what he's going to do. He's making the man-at-arms. He's going for supplies. He's getting the defense upgrades. And we're going to start to see the champion line coming out, and that might be enough to turn this battle and make Yo finally say that is it. Siege Ram now coming in, and these Rams at the top are going to completely clean out these castles, clean out these town centers. And I think it's the end for Yo. Fantastic fight, but I just can't see him coming back from this engagement. Great play from both of them. Amazing raids with those conquistadors early on for Yo, but now this is just going to be too much as he goes out with a small force of Hussars, but that small of a force is going to get picked off very easily, as the entire economy now under attack, and that is that. Fantastic game, and just a great play right here. It all came down to that one trebuchet war. Fantastic.